Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lovely Wednesday coming to you live from the Sadlamar studio. We have our streaming because there is no building without us teaming. How are you, Hagen?
I'm doing great, Bruno. How are you?
I'm pretty good. For those who don't know, I'm one of your co-hosts, Bruno
Who are you?
Cicchini.
Oh.
And then this is my fellow co-host, Hagen, Dr. Hagen Fritz.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Sorry.
Every week you go back and forth between the titles, so.
I had to be respectful to my colleagues, so.
Okay.
That's
Right.
your title,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Thank you.
How have you been?
Good.
What's up in your R&D world?
In the R&D world, we are wrapping up our Q1 OKRs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do we get to hear them live for the first time here? Or
No,
we
you
have to
don't.
wait?
No.
Oh,
But we have updated our little dashboard, so you should see we're killing it.
the
Killed
dashboard?
it this
What did
semester.
the dashboard do to
No,
you?
not
Oh.
metaphorically speaking. I guess I should watch my language given our special guest today.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, we're doing pretty well. And so we have two lengthy. James and I are just going to lock ourselves in the conference room and we're rescoring every idea that's been submitted.
Every idea? Why?
Really just the reach component. So we had this issue where our scores there was really no limits. It could go from 0 to, I think the max was like 2,000 was the max score.
Mhm.
That doesn't really make sense. So we threw some math at it, some fancy math. And so now it goes from 0 to 100. It also kind of scales it slightly so that those low scores are kind of inflated a little bit, but the order is still preserved. It's a little fancy. Actually,
You're
it's not
saying
that-
if I submitted an idea a couple of months ago, it might have a new score?
No, not mine. It
Oh.
absolutely
Oh,
will have a new
absolutely.
score. So you should
Cool.
definitely check out Iris, the interactive roadmap for the innovation station, and you can check out your new score. We haven't finished, so if it's one of the early ideas, we haven't regraded it. All the latest ones we've been regrading, and I think we have a new winner too. We had an idea submitted yesterday, and I think it's going to dethrone Callum Kelly's idea.
Oh.
So
Can you remind me where can I find this Iris?
Iris,
dashboard?
it's a little tab up on the top. You just go to the innovation station. So r/o.com/innovate
idea.
Yeah. Well, either one I think works. And then at the top, you'll see a tab that says Iris, and you can click on that. And it'll take you to Iris. It's like a web app embedded within the innovation station. So
That's pretty exciting.
yeah, I think so.
Looking forward to it. So if you submit an idea out there, make sure you check out for the new score
Yes, absolutely.
on the dashboard. That's pretty great, Hagen.
What about yourself? What do you got going on in virtual design construction?
Nothing much, no.
Okay.
Working hard. Just doing some coordination, some QTO for pursuits.
Nice.
We do have finalized, I think, our interns this summer.
Well, that's exciting.
So that's
Oh,
pretty
they're going to sit
exciting.
near me too. Wow.
Yeah, they're coming up. So I think we
Or
finally.
stand near me because we have sit-stand desks now.
Yeah, actually, they'll be across from you. But yeah, so we had those pretty exciting. I won't reveal too much about them.
Oh yeah, please
just in
don't.
case. But they're not pretty good. But I did want to show you something real cool that came in the mail this week.
Oh, did it?
It
I haven't
did.
checked my mail in like months. So. Wow.
The RO newsletter 2022 recap.
Cool. It looks pretty nifty.
So I know we talked about it a few times a while back, but we have received a PDF version.
Okay.
Now you can have the actual
Hard copy.
hard copy. And a little sneak peek for those who are watching today. You know, when I try to guess the guest of today, go to page 16 and you'll see
Ooh, nice little.
who will be talking to you here shortly.
Nice. I like that. Little
But yeah,
detective.
if you haven't checked your mail in over a couple months, make sure you make your way to the mail. Pretty cool. Marketing made a lot of effort into this, so you can check it out and get a whole recap of what happened last year with RO and where we're going this year.
Nice.
So
Put that down
pretty cool.
softly. Yeah.
yeah, my producer's telling me it's out. That's it.
Well, cool. Yeah, it looks super slick. I'm excited to get it and kind of show, talk to the fiance about it. Give faces to the names that I mention all the time.
There you go. Yeah, that's exciting. So yeah, make sure you check it out.
Sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but we had a question come in. Live hard hat question
What?
from a gentleman named Austin Robertson.
Who's that?
I'm not ready for this.
He asked the hard hat question of the RICE score seems to only be a people efficiency measurement. What about ideas in which you are not creating efficiency with people? Why not factor dollars or return on investment into the calc? I may have misread some of that. I apologize. The text is rather small from here.
Austin asking the right questions here. Yes, Hagen.
That's
Please answer it.
funny. because we had actually James Holmes,
Donald.
James Donald Holmes, yes. Him and I had discussed this actually, and I had given actually a brief presentation to him regarding a additional acronym we would append to RICE. It'd be called the PRICE model.
Oh,
I know.
I like it.
But we would actually be looking at the monetary factors. So I can't remember exactly what the P potential was, what the P stood for. So how much money this could save us in the long term, and that would kind of help bring up some of those ideas that maybe don't have, like I guess Austin was referring to, that doesn't impact a lot of people, because the score is heavily influenced by the reach, the number of people you're impacting. That's why those ideas that tend to impact operations tend to be the ones we go after. Rightfully so, to a certain extent, right? Because I mean, they are a large proportion of our company. But there are things like the mud tracker, for instance, right? That could save us a lot of money if we can track that concrete correctly, and we're not wasting excess concrete. That could be, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we're not factoring that into our model. But that's a good point, and so that is something that we're going to work on. We're still the RICE scoring is not perfect by any means. We're still working on it. I think next quarter we're going to be focusing on the impact, making that impact a little bit better, and then I think we'll be adding some additional things to it to really get an accurate measure of the ideas.
That's exciting. Sounds like you'll be busy the next couple of weeks.
Oh, Bruno, I'm always busy.
If you need help, there's a great tool out there that can help you out. An online tool. It's raving around the world. Open ChatGPT.
OpenAI's ChatGPT, you mean?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because we're talking about OKRs. We actually use ChatGPT to help us write some of our OKRs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's very nice. Just the wording. We had the ideas. I don't want to take away from James and I. We're actually doing
your
work.
job away from you if you really.
It really could. It could very well. It does a lot of the So I guess previously I used to I'd go to Stack Overflow if I had a coding question or things like that. Now I just type into ChatGPT. It writes out the code. I can tell it the variable names I want. I can tell it the exact thing I want, and boom, it pops out. Like ChatGPT is amazing for writing code.
That OpenAI.
You're just mixing in those words. I like it. Yeah, but OpenAI is ChatGPT. But I'm curious. I know Josh Beck in the VDC department. He loves using ChatGPT. But is there anything that you use it for?
Myself, not at the end right now. I use my go-to search engine software. I have asked it also to review some products that we're looking into.
Oh, really?
Implementing. So I'll ask it, OpenChatGPT, OpenAI ChatGPT. And I'm just kidding. Just to give me a review of a certain website or an article.
Yeah.
And it can kind of summarize certain websites or, like I said, articles. Just quick. Give me the 5 takeaways from here.
Yeah, that's what I think is great. Yeah, and you can specify, give me 5, 3, 10 takeaways from it, and
and I'm not a big reader, so this helps
me. I know, it is tricky.
And it's hard to read. E's and 3's just get confusing. But it makes it simple to summarize.
Yeah.
So far that's it.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
So don't be afraid of it.
I mean,
we have to embrace
this technology. Pronounce it first, but that's...
yeah. Well, that's simple. As long as you can put it in a bookmark on your web browser, that's fine. It's good enough, right?
That's exciting. I know we had a new segment last week.
We did,
and we actually received a submission about how to name this segment.
We did, yes. Thank you.
So we were inspired by Tamara to establish the name of this segment. I think we're inspired by the Building a Better Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We might be going with Building Around the World.
Building Around the World. Yeah. Okay, I like that.
So with that said, do you have any cool stories you want to share that you learned?
Yeah, sure. I think we have time for perhaps one. Oh, just one maybe. James's little fingers peeking out over there. It was the California High-Speed Rail.
Ooh.
Not to be confused with Elon Musk's Hypertube, I think it was called.
Sure.
Anyway, it's a high-speed train. It's supposed to connect, I think, as north as, let me see, San Francisco to LA? No, more norther than that.
More norther.
But essentially, you kind of want to get that big SF to LA, and I think also San Diego. I can't remember the name.
You know how fast it would?
It's supposed to be around 220, 250 miles per hour. So you should be able to get to SF, from SF to LA in about 3 hours or so. Yeah. It's very, very expensive though, going way over budget and going way over time. Because I think by 2026 they were supposed to have the first leg of it built, and now they say 2029, which I think was the original final deadline for it. But it's in it ballooned from 33 billion to about 100 billion is their projected cost.
Pocket change.
Yeah, some minor things out there, but it's supposed to be green, right? It's supposed to be somewhat sustainable. I think it's like all renewable energies what's being used to power it. And it'll be nice to have, a high-speed train. I think if we compare ourselves to other nations around the world, I think our public transportation is very much lacking, especially when it comes to commuter rails.
Oh, pretty exciting. So if you go to California, keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to use it until
2030
years.
yeah, who knows? But
well, thanks for that little snippet.
Sure.
And that's been our segment, Building Around the World. But without any further ado, I know we're excited about a new guest.
Oh, very excited.
Many people know him. You don't get him confused with the wizard equivalent, Mr. Harry Potter. That was my way of doing a British accent. It did not work. But he does have a magical element when it comes to dealing with people. We'll know him as the dad of, not a dad, the king of dad jokes.
Those words.
But yeah, we do have Mr. Kevin Porter with us today.
Wow. Do you have any dad jokes?
I do actually.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear about the guy who created the knock knock jokes?
I have not.
But I know he won a Nobel Prize, so make sure you check him out. Google him.
I get it. Like no bell.
There you go. It took you a while.
You knock instead of ring.
That's right.
Okay.
I tried to come up with a construction pun joke, but I'm still working on it. I want to hammer a few tweaks before I can deliver it. I don't want to screw it up, which I might have already done. So,
hammer screw. I get it. Okay. Yeah.
I
thought you were just lying, and I. That's a good one.
No, I just tried to be smooth. Do you have any jokes?
I didn't. I don't want to. No, I don't want to embarrass myself.
You don't do that in this podcast. That's
yeah.
only me.
Yeah.
But yeah, without further ado, I think I'll like to introduce the charismatic, empathetic, and outstanding Kevin Porter.
Yay, Kevin!
Right after this commercial.
Right after this commercial.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Did you submit that idea to the innovation station the other day?
No,
Why not?
I don't want to.
It's really not that hard.
I said no.
It should be helping out coworkers, making this a better place to work.
Too bad.
But you can win prizes.
I don't care.
Well, what would it take to get you to submit that idea? Sounded great.
Shoot me then.
Wow, it seems a bit drastic. I don't know if we need to go that far for a idea submission. I feel like you're just being a bit stubborn now. I mean, be helping everyone out, making this a better place to work. That makes it worthwhile, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Well, look, I'll show you real quick.
I think it'd be fun though. Get some RO flair going. See, set a number of RO logos you have to have on you. The more logos you have on,
NASCAR.
yeah, right. Sponsorships.
Are we live?
Oh yeah, we're rocking and rolling,
Great.
just like that.
That's awesome. Hey, before we get started, can I give you guys something? Has anyone ever given you all a gift?
No, never.
You guys like cookies, right?
Mr. Porter, we
Yeah.
love cookies.
I'm not sure who Tiff is, but for $21, you can buy yourself a dozen cookies. Here you
Well,
guys
Mr. Porter,
go.
oh my gosh, thank you so much, and no pressure to anyone who comes on next time.
Yeah, put the bar. It's kind of funny. For this year, I'm trying to lose weight. So I went on like this website to like how to lose weight. And the very first thing it asks me is, do you accept cookies? This website. I'm like, what? Isn't that kind of counterproductive? You know what I'm saying? But I promise I'll keep this serious. I know that I don't want to.
We're not going to be able to do this. I'm laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
It could be 45 minutes of dad jokes and me laughing at all of them.
I don't know.
That might be the key to making this wildly popular.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think we're going to find out whether we want to or not.
We'll see the viewers leave, you know.
No, we can watch them live, but we'll get some immediate feedback. Mr. Kevin Porter, thank you for joining us today.
Great. Well, thank you. Now, where do I look at?
We're just talking. We're having a conversation here. Cesar Gonzalez over there on the mics and the cameras. He makes
awesome.
all the magic happen.
He's a great guy.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He makes it look so seamless.
Yeah.
Whenever he can't make it, he's off trying to win us the next big project, and I've got to jump in there. I'm all over the place and screwing up the cameras, and the audio's all off. He just sits back there and he's just cool as a cucumber.
It's great.
On the ones and twos, making it happen.
Well, it's great to be here. I appreciate me inviting myself on the show. So thank you for.
Hey, we love nothing more to have people like yourself on here. I think that there's a lot of people who already adore you.
Oh, well.
And this is just going to take it to another level of exposure, if you will.
We'll see. So we'll see after this.
We'll hide all the negative
no
comments.
idea what's going to happen the next 45 minutes, or
it'll be a lot of fun for all of us.
We'll see.
So, Mr. Porter, you've been here for what, 2.5 years now, roughly?
Years, December 28th, 2020.
And
a little fun fact: it was me and there's another gentleman that was rehired, so we're part of like the group. A little guy named Todd Wynn, and so he's cool.
Gosh, that's so funny. I didn't think about that. But yeah,
so we got hired in at the same time, right before New Year's, and it was awesome. Yeah,
Talk about a turning point, right?
Yeah, life change.
Man. So you've been here for 2.5 years. What do you love about RO?
Man, I'll tell you, I think when you work for a company, sometimes you can start of maybe making a contribution. And then if you do that, maybe you can make an impact. But I really like the fact I feel like I can make a difference. And that's like a whole other level. And just, it's also encouraged of what can I do to make a difference, not just through people services, but in the lives of our employees. But the great thing is the difference that people are making in my life. I was hoping that was going to happen, and it came back in tenfold. Just the people I work with, the coworkers, you guys, it's awesome.
It is such a great
making
place.
A difference is truly my RO experience.
That's a good one. We'll be clipping that one and sharing it with the
family. You know, I figured. Yeah.
That's and that you made. You know, you love that you're able to really make a difference here. For those that aren't familiar, what is your current role at RO?
All right. So as of right now, so hopefully it hasn't changed in the next 45 minutes, but Vice President of People Services. So it's kind of interesting because People Services was the human resources. And I was always been HR. And then when I was talking to Justin and Austin and others, they just didn't want HR. They want a department of just the hiring and the benefits. They really are saying, Kevin, we have a vision for People Services. And at that moment, I didn't really understand it. I get it now, of just trying to have a department that's really focused on employees, also employees' families. And that is pretty cool, So I think we're making some really good progress of really, being part of a department that's really focused on how we can make the life of our men and women in the field offices easier. So yeah, I'm working the People Service group.
I think it's a great testament to the agility that RO has maintained while growing as a company as well.
Absolutely.
We still look at things and say, hey, here's this human resources department that deals with all of our hiring, performance reviews, all the salary, timekeeping, all these things, right? We're going to take that whole thing, we're going to rebrand it, and we're going to reimagine from the ground up what their role is.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to make that kind of move because there's a lot of risk. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might be poorly received. It might not work out real well. So I love hearing that. And as a small new department that I am in, I'm very appreciative of that nimbleness that remains. So you've been here for 2.5 years, and I don't think you're 24.
Not yet.
What were you doing between 22 and RO?
All right. So I'm not sure. My comedian job didn't go that well. So
I find that very hard to believe.
yeah, so before RO, I was with a company called Lauren Engineers. I was there for 20 years and loved it. You know, they did oil and gas and built power plants and solar panel power plants, which is hot. That was a great job. But there's this, you know, so that's what I did prior to coming to RO.
And so you spent 20 years at Lauren, you said, right? That's a long time. It's a career for a lot of
2
people.
decades, man.
Man, that's incredible. But then you did come over to RO. What does loyalty mean to you in particular? I'm very curious here because you obviously love both deeply.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one thing, especially kind of being in oil and gas, you know, it's up every 5 years. It kind of has a cycle of like going up and then going down, and it's hanging through with a company through the good times and not so good times. And it really is great that you're loyal to it's easy to be loyal when, you know, things are good and you're, you know, able to pay bonuses and stuff. But when things go low, you know, are you still going to, you know, be there? And especially being in the oil and gas industry, sometimes you had to do pay cuts, you know, and that's really was it rubber meets the road, what they say, as far as it's not necessarily a test by any means, but I feel very blessed to be with companies that I just believe in, you know, and Lauren was a great chapter of my life. And I'll tell you, RO is a phenomenal new chapter for my life. And I'm excited just to have that loyalty with RO. And the great thing is RO toward me, and I know toward the other family members, you know, that they're loyal too. So I think loyalty to me is not just in the good times, but when times do get a little rough or when it gets hard, are you going to press in and just like, you know what, I'm not going to let this go, you know, or are you going to say, you know what, it's tough. I think I'm just going to go down the road. You know? So that's what loyalty means to me.
Yeah, especially like you said in the oil and gas, it's boom or bust, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're lining your pockets with gold, or you're going home hungry. It seems. We have some people in the office here that have family members that work in oil and gas. We've kind of been able to hear through them firsthand, like, hey, when it's good, it's good, but whenever it's not good, it's another dry hole, right?
That's tough.
So this was something that came up in a conversation outside of work the other day, and I had a very interesting discussion with somebody. But we got discussing loyalty and honesty, and I feel like those two get tied in together very frequently. You know, people say, "Oh, I'm loyal and honest."
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's great, but I think those are two different things. I think that you can be exceptionally loyal. I think sometimes to be loyal, you have to be slightly dishonest.
Yeah.
I think there's those moments where a significant other, what have you, says, "Hey, how do I look today?" And you go like, "Not. Maybe you should go back to bed or something for another hour." But that's not loyal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They need you there to support them. So to you, what is more important, loyalty or honesty? And why would you make that choice?
Yeah. You know, I do feel like sequence matters. What I mean by that is like trust and respect. Which one's more important? I think once you have respect, then you can have trust. So I'll be lying if I say loyalty, because I do feel like it's honesty. That needs to be the foundation, because you can be loyal and just totally dishonest and talk behind people's back, but you're loyal. But I think if the better way is just having that honesty, and I will change the word honesty to being vulnerable, you know, really being true to who you are. And then in the situations of, you know, do I look fat, you know, and, you know, obviously there's a way to be honest with a person, you know, and also identify, but not necessarily always giving a false message. So I say, be honest with yourself, be honest with others, and then that creates that loyalty.
It's beautiful. Yeah. And I think something we can all work on and improve.
And going back to the story with my past career is, even when you have times are tough, if you're honest, hey, this is what's happening. You know, these are some of the challenges we're experiencing, you know, as an organization. Then you have loyalty, you know, and I love the honesty that we have here at RO, just the transparency with the RO Connects and the different town halls, the OKRs. This is where we're at, you know, and hopefully, I know it has for me, and I hope for every, you know, person in the RO family, you know, just that extreme loyalty.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing when we see the two kind of dance in harmony.
Yeah.
I used to be of the mindset that it was all honesty, right?
Yeah.
Like if you can be brutally honest about everything, you'll be all right. And I think there might be some value to that, but it's also a slippery slope. You can you can end up being very unintentionally hurtful to people.
Yeah, I think complaining, because complaining
Yeah.
is a form of honesty. Like if you put onions on my dad's hamburger, he's going to be honest with you. He's like, this is wrong, but he was honest, but yet he was doing it with a wrong heart. He was, not complaining. And of course, Dad, if you're watching, I didn't mean to share that. but anyway, I think that there's a kind of a area that you need to make sure, are you being honest or did you take it to the next level?
So back on the topic of RO, how did you end up here? Were you just kind of browsing job listings and you saw, there's this RO place in Dallas that seems interesting?
Yeah, what's this? I love it when things happen without really planning. I think those are the best things in life. And so I had a good friend that was in a career transition. And let me pause a little bit. I used to work with a guy named Austin Robertson. Have you heard of him?
I think maybe once or twice.
So we're in the same company for about 4 years, 2013 to 2017. And I just so fast forward to 2020. I had a friend that was between jobs, and I really thought a lot of this guy. And I said, well, let me make some phone calls. And then just out of the blue, it was Thursday at 3 p.m. November of 2020. I just thought of Austin for some strange reason, and this guy. So I called Austin up and said, "Hey, I don't know really what you do. I think you're in construction, but I have a great resume. Can I send it your way?" And he's like, "Kevin, it's so funny you called at this moment because we're looking for a human resource person, and we're just talking to people at this moment. I know you probably will never leave where you're at because you've been there for so long." And I remember thinking, yeah, I can't do that. I can't, I'll never leave. And I shared that with my wife, and she goes, well, did you give it any thought? Like, and wives, man, they're amazing. They really have a way of just speaking truth. And so I didn't, and I really thought about it hard. And then I just had a piece like, maybe there's something there. I didn't even think about this. So I called Austin up and said, hey, look, I know I told you no, but I'd love a conversation if it's still available. And he said, yeah. So had a trip to Dallas and talked to Carrie and Leon. And really from that moment on, it was awesome, and I got to wear my power suit jacket, and talk with Emma. And it was a great experience. And I just knew at that moment, if I was going to leave a place of comfort, this was the place I wanted to be, and just not look back. It's been great.
What an incredible, I don't know if coincidence. It seems too constructive to be a coincidence.
Yeah.
It feels more manifest destiny, if you will.
Yeah, and one of the great things, and I know Linda and Karen, especially in the talent specialists, we get to hear these stories of the RO story of their path here, and everyone has amazing story of how they got here, and it's not coincidence. I really feel that we're all here for a purpose, and it's just neat when our stories kind of, I don't want to say collide, I don't want to be a train wreck because we talk about, I hope that doesn't happen in California. So, but anyway,
too soon.
Sorry. But where they meet and join, and for this moment in time, we're together and our stories are here together. It's great.
It's where the trains merge.
Yeah.
Out in there. I think
all right, testing.
Pulling down a bit.
All right.
Which one? Me?
So I repeat everything I just said. Should we start over?
Start over at the top.
Right.
Yep, the last 14 minutes. Rewind.
All right. So I was on this website with cookies. So all right, we'll go back.
No, you're good. He's able to see the volumes and all that over there. So the cable's pulling on it and all that. We're figuring it out as we go. This is our second time here, and it's all going to change in a couple of weeks. So bear with us. I apologize, and thank you so much. He's just on top of things.
Great.
Can't get enough of that guy. Very important question for you, sir. When did you learn that you were Canadian?
Yeah, like that was crazy. And so, can I give you a little history about Canada?
Please do.
Most people did not know how Canada was given like the name Canada. Did you know how they named Canada?
I have no idea how they named Canada.
Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so they got these two Canadians, and they got this box of letters, and they got this like a letter out, and then American was going to write down the name of the country, right? And so you follow me so far?
I think so.
Okay, so the two Canadians got the first letter, and they go, "Oh, it's a CA," and then the Americans writing it, and the next letter, it's an NA, and that's how Canada. They were going to be called Canada, but the American didn't realize the Canadians say A. So anyway, so about that. So my mom's from Buffalo, New York, And my dad well, he's from Buffalo, but he had a job in Ontario, Canada, Toronto. And I was born there. And then after about maybe less than a year, they moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. So at some point they told me, hey, Kevin, we got to sit you down. You don't know this, but you are a dual citizen. I'm like, what? How come I didn't know about this? So I was beside myself, There
was a light bulb that went off. I get the Encyclopedia Britannica things that happened today, and I think today, if I'm not mistaken, Cesar, if you want to verify with this, I think today the Dominion of Canada was created by the whatever British Colonial Act or something like that. So that's funny. I didn't plan that at all.
And I just think it's weird that in the People Services we have Canadian, which I think is kind of. Now we have like 1.5 Canadians, which is awesome.
Who's the other?
Oh, you don't know who the other one is?
No.
Oh,
hold on. I'm trying to think who's the nicest person at RO.
I'm going to have the YouTube family. Is it the YouTube audience? I'll have them chime in. But when they say Ben, it's awesome. Get Ben. I'm not making jokes, so I hope she doesn't get upset. And it's a lady in my department. It wasn't me. I guess I'm the only guy, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So anyway, they can chime in.
I'll be curious to hear that. Yeah. I think I have. Okay. Well, I'll hold off on my guess until later. We'll give everyone a chance to chime in. Yeah, that's wild. From Canada to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah, absolutely.
Didn't stop anywhere along the way. Didn't try Missouri or Ohio or Oklahoma. You just say, we're going all the way.
One, I couldn't drive, so I wasn't in control. But yeah, so my dad and his brother. They started a construction business called Form. And this is like these styrofoam little balls, packages, but they made bricks. And then they put concrete, so it's like insulation to build your house. So they did that in the Southwest. Of course, things were booming, but together they were just really kind of course, what two brothers were. I'm not sure who has a brother, but they weren't getting along. So my grandparents made them say, hey, look, guys, family's more important, so sell your business. And so then my father got into the concrete pumping business. It's called Pump with Porter, which is kind of a cool,
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, Albuquerque is great. I love growing up there. And just everywhere you go, you can get green chili. McDonald's. It's phenomenal. So
are you a bit of a green chili fanatic? They have a festival, don't they? Have a Hatch Chili or Green Chili Festival, something like that?
Yeah, it's spicy, man. So you can, if you have allergies or anything like that, you just go there. But they have a festival. They got the hot air balloon festival in October, and a lot of not blowing hot air. So, and that's not funny. I mean, that's not. It's a
little bit funny.
I don't know. It's like I was talking to my friend over,
I'm over here quoting Ellen.
Like overseas. Funny. He goes, "Hey, Kevin, have you heard of the big meter?" I'm like, "Big meter?" I'm like, "Do you mean Bigfoot?" So like that could be funny. What'd you think? You get it? Because meter and. But okay.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. No. That's
back to that. So back to Albuquerque.
Well, on the topic of food, though, I came across some information.
Yes.
You have two things that you are very passionate about.
Absolutely, a lot.
One is cheese and potato pierogies.
Pierogies, yep.
And the other, which I believe is a bucket list item for you, is completing an Ironman.
Yeah, I know by looking at me, you're thinking, man, that guy, if he pulls up, how Ironman, they have like these logos on their hamstrings, like the Ironman logo. I don't have that yet. But yeah, I love two of them. And obviously you're thinking, is that one?
They seem a bit at conflict with one another.
Well, I will say in a previous life, like in my 20s and 30s, I was pretty active. I love running. And when you're running like 10 or 15 miles, you can eat like whatever you want,
For sure.
Pierogies and stuff like that. Now, pierogies, my mom's Polish, and I just love the Polish history that I have in my family. And so just my grandparents. And so, yeah, pierogies was just a family thing that we always had. So I love the little potato or sour cream pierogies and go run 15 miles. And I don't do that anymore. So.
Well, why not?
Well, the funny thing is I was at the gym the other day and I saw the weirdest thing. There's those treadmills and some guy was putting a bottle water where you put your Pringles can. I'm like, what is he doing? Then that doesn't go there. But anyway. So... you get it? Because it's... Okay. the Pringles.
So do you drink Pringles? Do you just like take the whole can, or
I think
how do you eat Pringles? I guess is my question.
well, you try, but like I have like kind of thick hands, right? So you can only
You
go
gotta
so
dump 'em all
far,
out,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so you just go there and then you just put it, and I guess you're not supposed to put it back in the break room when you're done. So don't. It's kind of like double dipping, right? So don't do that.
This is how we got COVID, Mr. Porter. You got to watch yourself.
Yeah.
Got to wipe that off afterwards, at least. Oh goodness, we're gonna get through this. It's gonna be okay.
All right.
I was literally cramping up early. Right where did you started from like laughing? I don't know if I've had not enough water, not enough
Well,
bananas.
usually
but-
people don't tell me I'm a pain in their stomach. Usually they say I'm a pain in their other part.
What?
Yeah, oh, never mind.
What?
Well-
I don't get it. Could you elaborate?
No.
Oh goodness. Excuse me. So you have you're married. You have 5 kids.
Yeah, 5
which
kids.
Is a lot.
It is a lot.
But you have two of your sons are adopted, correct?
Yeah. So we went to the foster to adopt, and it's obviously that's not for everyone. But what I'll tell you, my life is changed through them. I mean, they're amazing, and I think one challenge I would challenge people. It may not be adoption. You know, there might be other things, but do things that might make you uncomfortable. You know, really challenge yourself. And so their name is Ray and Zai. And then my other daughters, I have Natalie, who's going to be 21 April 5th. Yeah, I have a 21-year-old, which is
That's incredible.
which is awesome. And then I have Lily. She's a senior in high school. She'll be graduating and be going to ACU. That's Wildcats, the W.
Sure.
Wildcats. My oldest goes to A&M, so if there's any whooping out there, you can whoop for her. Yep. And then my youngest daughter, Everly, she's a freshman, and she was be getting her driver's permit, in a couple weeks.
So that seems to work out pretty well for 21 and driver's permit.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, you just got your permit. Let's go.
Yeah. And so
I've had one too many.
My boys are Ray and Zai, and I cannot talk about my family without mentioning the love of my life, who keeps everything going for me. Is my wife Rebecca will be celebrating 24 years of marriage in 2023 in August. We're not there yet, but I'm kind of thinking we'll make it. So,
Congratulations.
yeah,
That's
it's great.
fantastic.
yeah, so 5 kids. It's awesome. It's loud. Everything is sometimes can be unpredictable, but it's fun, and wouldn't want anything else, any different.
So you had 3 kids and you adopted 2 more. I think most people that have 3 kids are like, oh, this
I
is
think that's enough.
a
Yeah,
handful, right?
but we had a Suburban at the time.
Oh,
So it's like, we have like whole extra seat thing. I'm like, might as well.
sure.
Like, I
That's
would
a normal
say
thought.
going from like 1 to 3. I mean, that's a big jump, but like 3 to 10, I mean, it's not really. And once you start at 3, I mean, you might as well. Let's do 3 more.
Are you planning for more?
No, well, I don't think so. So but yeah. So, but yeah, 5 kids.
So I feel like that's it can be just an absolute emotional roller coaster. How did you prepare yourself for that? Or did you, I guess, yeah, how did you prepare yourself for that? Did you prepare yourself
Well,
for
for
that?
kid number 1, we bought that book, What to Expect When You're Expecting. I think everyone has that book, that little expecting lady on the cover and stuff like that. I think we read a little bit of it, but obviously you can plan so much, but it's just being in the moment. And I think that's the theme of just, every kid is beautifully and totally different. And you just have to just kind of have a good communication with your spouse and just be for one another. But you really can't like prepare all this stuff. Maybe some people do, but for us, especially with 5 kids, you just have to, we do that zone defense and just kind of figure things out.
That's interesting to hear, because it's I feel it's one of those people always think, oh, I'm not ready. It's like, I don't know if anyone ever is for
That
anything.
that's one of the things, like when I was younger, I was thinking, okay, when I have this amount of money, I'll do this, or when I have this, and that's not, for me, not the way to live life. I mean, I'm not going to say don't be reckless necessarily, but don't think that when you get here, then you can do this or that, just jump all in. And that was really hard for me. I think being a son of a great businessman, making business decisions, but sometimes, and one of the things that my dad showed me is also living by faith too. You need to be responsible, but you also need to just put yourself out there, You know, I think parenting is kind of like that.
Have a little trust in yourself and
Yeah.
little
Especially with our 21-year-old. I mean, she is phenomenal, and that's, you know, she is an adult, you know, and you know her decisions are going to be different than my decisions, but I have faith that my wife and I, we've invested and we modeled, and you know, obviously weren't perfect, but we did our best, and she's responsible, and now in this new chapter of her life, you know, you just have to let them do their thing, and she has some great things in store for her, just with all the kids.
I think you said it best there whenever you said that, you know, you did a good job. You and your wife put forth that effort up front. Not to be too oblivious to families and all that, but I think that kind of goes for a lot of things, you know what I mean? Whether it be a personal project or work related or what have you, like that little bit of planning ahead of time, that effort you put into doing things the right way the first time around pays off dividends in the long run greatly.
Absolutely.
So let's, I'm curious to hear, I know you want to talk a little bit about some of the people services stuff you have going on. What's new and exciting in the people services world?
Well, one thing I got to get a shout out to the people I work with. So Sarah and Karen and Linda and Jenna and Veronica, they're just phenomenal. Now I'm a little nervous. I think I got everyone. But I couldn't do it without them. And we as a group do a great job. And so we really are excited of some of the things that we have going on. I think last year employees noticed a lot of the training that we've done, more training opportunities. So it's really great to be a part of, you know, providing an avenue for that and just getting employees to be trainers and have people learn and grow together. So that's really exciting. One thing that we realize is, as far as the way we have employees access information as we've grown, it's hard. You know, like if you want to know, hey, how much vacation hours do I have? Well, where do you go for that? Or I wonder what I've been doing with training, or I want to look at some of my past performance appraisals to kind of see where I develop. Well, everything's really kind of spread out. And I think some people have seen this year, one of the things that we're going to be rolling out is a new employee hub. And so I'll tell you, our IT department, and our accounting department, and you know, the people service group, they're working very, very hard on this new platform called UKG, and they're actually testing stuff out right now. And we're really excited. In the very soon, employees will receive an email saying, "Hey, this is live to look at your information." Eventually, this will be where people go to look at their paychecks and some other great things. So we're excited for that coming out. Another thing that I'm jazzed. You ready for this?
I think so. I don't know. I didn't.
But there's a hunger that employees have of learning, you know, really more than I've ever seen before, of just like, you know, what can I do to really grow? And so even though we made some good progress on training, there's a whole other chapter. And so we're going to be rolling out kind of like a learning management system, but it's tailored. It's not just this plug and play that you buy at like LinkedIn Learning or anything like that. It's going to be an RO feel. You know, it's going to be, how can I be work my way as a superintendent, or how can I work my way as a project manager, or how do I be a better leader? You know, and so we're really excited about having kind of a more than just a portal, but a place where employees can go to learn and grow. Now, it's not all just going to be these YouTube videos. I mean, there's going to be e-learning, there's going to be live Teams meeting, and so one of the great hires that we're going to do is, even though I think we're all champions of learning, we're going to find someone that's really gifted, and we have a great lead that will hopefully there'll be a big announcement soon of someone that will be really helping us to take us to the next level on learning. So there's some great things really ahead in 2023 for the people service group, but more importantly for the employees of RO, that I'm excited about.
That's incredible. And I love hearing about the kind of multimodal nature of the trainings that are available, as well as having an in-house expert on, sounds like, how to train. Because people will have domain specific knowledge on concrete or on doing an RFI or whatnot, but having someone that can assist them or show them how to deliver that message in the most effective means possible really takes that person who might not have a focus on spending the time creating a dialed in curriculum, but has that knowledge, and really just it's kind of like a power up in Mario. You know what I mean? It's like getting a little mushroom.
And we have so much talent here, so we don't have to like go out and get, you know, subject matter experts. I mean, the people here, they're first class, and just having that coach, someone that can help them, or I like the word activate them to really make that connection. And so man, it's going to be a great time. I think employees are really going to start seeing more and more things coming at the end of second quarter as we go to the third quarter. So we're really looking forward to it. So there's a lot of effort behind the scenes right now. So again, a big shout out to Connie and Blake and Terry and Greg and of course Sarah and a lot of the folks behind the scenes that are really working almost around the clock to make sure all this stuff happens.
It takes a village, right?
Yeah.
Let's what should we all be doing as RO employees to make a better people, make RO a better people services company?
Well, I think the first thing, and I think we are doing it very well, of just building relationships, that community. I'm not sure if that's the type of question, but as far as what makes RO different and what makes the focus of RO special is that intentional relationships with one and also having a relationship where someone has a question, you point them to the right resources, and so I think, and I see that almost every job site I go to or every office that, the people are willing to invest and to pour in. Our project directors and project executives, they're just not focused on building things, but even we did a kickoff training yesterday. And even we do some mobilization. It's all about how we can complement one another with personalities. How can we really put people together that will make each other better? So I think that will take us to really investing in people's services. And when I say people's services, RO, one another.
Sure. Yeah, we're built on people, and I'm sure that any combination of RO employees, if you add them up, they're greater than the sum of their parts. But
yeah.
How can we find the greatest sum of those parts? Which people mesh together best on what kind of projects and what makes people tick, and how do we keep them motivated and engaged and fulfilled and all those types of things. That's awesome stuff. It's awesome to hear. I feel like you are probably the resident expert on mental health.
Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate that, and again, it's surrounding yourself with people that are very passionate about this. But, one thing, and of course, all joking aside, life is fun, but life can be hard, and there can be, even when we're around 505 employees here at RO, you could feel alone, one of the things that people hear me say, I kind of use this analogy, like if you're at kind of a red light and you're in the second car, car's ahead of you, and it turns green, how long do you wait till you honk the horn? Some people say
about 0.8 of a second.
But let's just say there's a big old bumper sticker and says, "Hey, have patience. I'm learning to drive a 5-speed for the first time." How long would you wait?
0.1 of a second.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
you need to learn.
Yeah. But you might have a little bit of understanding. The problem is we don't walk around with our coworkers with bumper stickers. Say, "Hey, I just got in a big fight with my wife. Hey, my son just got diagnosed with this issue." I think if we knew what was going on, we would have more patience or maybe understanding. So I think I just would love to use this platform to let people know it's okay not to be okay. And you're not alone. I've walked through some very hard things in my life, but I was able to kind of pull through, and I'm still a work in progress, but just being honest and vulnerable. And when people say, "Hey, are you okay?" Not like, "Yeah, okay." I will say, "No, you got some time to hear me out, or can you talk?" Because I can guarantee you, even though we're busy, the most busiest person, they will listen. They want to listen. That's what we're here for, And so I would just tell people, please reach out to your coworkers, your supervisor, myself, Sarah, Karen, Linda, Jenna, Veronica, or anyone in our group. We want to listen, and we have resources. We have a phenomenal EAP that gives 5 free visits for the employee and their family. We have some great, most people don't realize that counselors are just treated just like physicians on our like a copay or depending on what plan you're on. And so some really good resources, because sometimes all you need is a listening ear, but sometimes it might need a little bit deeper than that, and so and that's what the beauty about RO is, having an environment people want you to be your very best.
I love hearing that. It's such a beautiful thing. And I feel bad now. I'm over here making jokes, giving you a hard time about the bumper sticker, but I think that is something.
Yeah, now you feel bad about
I feel horrendous, to be honest with you, but I'll find a way to cope with that.
All right.
I think that's one of those things where we as humans tend to think of like, oh, I need to take care of myself. I need to work out. I need to eat right. And that mental and emotional side of things tends to be, I don't know if neglected is the right way to be thought of it, but not considered as much as it
Yeah.
probably should be.
And that's a great comment. I know, before COVID, RO had a wellness plan. And I think people thought of, well, it's about the, your biometric screening and going to the gym. Well, it's more than that. And we're working on it. And I know Sarah has a lot of passion on what wellness looks like. And so we are right now behind the scenes putting together a well-being plan. So it's not just your physical health, but how you're doing mentally. And we know that financial issues is a big stress. So what about financial management? And if I can give a plug on April 14th at 11 a.m. So if you look at your RO communication training, there's a gentleman named Dan Miller that would be doing a training on mental wellness. He did one last month. It was phenomenal. And so right now, after you listen to this amazing YouTube podcast thing, go to your KeyStyle and sign up for that training with Dan Miller. And I think you would really get a lot out of him.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely need to take advantage. Everyone needs to be taking advantage of those trainings out there.
Yeah, it's great. And I know it's a little clunky. It's not the best way to communicate. It's coming. A better way is coming with our learning management system very soon. But until then, we work with what we have, and so, but I do want employees to know that we do hopefully have different types of training every month. Some are skill-based, some are more mental or wellness, and some are soft skills. There's going to be a phenomenal guy do something called Generation Matters training. I forgot the guy's name. Oh, it's me. Because this is one of the things is like, this is the first time in American history that we have 4 generations working together, and people are different. Leadership styles of the people of the baby boomers are different than the Generation Z, like even right now, how many generations do we have in this room? Yeah. Like Hagen, what generation are you? I think he's
I think he was born in the mid 90s.
Well, anyway, it's just all different of how we view things.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, I think it's just an awareness, right? Because you go so much of your life, you go through school, you're around people the same age. You go to college, you're around people the same age. You start working somewhere, you're generally around people similar age. Yeah. But then at some point, you end up engaging with a much broader spectrum of humans. And especially I think the people out in the field, you could be in a senior superintendent with, 30 years at RO, and you might be working with a project engineer that is 3 days out of school. Be like, how do you guys communicate effectively? You just had very different life experiences.
Yeah. And I think there's a tension of like, okay, who needs to change? Do I need to change, or do they need to change to fit me? There's that tension. Is it, you got to
let's go. I want to hear about that.
And so I think it is where, instead of changing, how can we show each other and meet in the middle? And I think that's a lot about life is we're not necessarily asking people to not be who you are, but can you redefine or refine yourself, a little bit and make yourself more approachable, and I really encourage people to really get to know each other. I know sometimes in construction, people say, man, these people are rude or they're tough. But no, they're not. They might be a little bit more direct. They might be a little bit more. And so let's not label folks until we really get to know them. So
for sure, I know I had a bit of a reputation in the past for being a bit hot-headed at times.
No, seriously. That's good.
I worked with concrete all day, and it's the only perishable construction product that arrives on a job site. So that truck shows up on site, like we got 90 minutes. That thing needs to be empty. So whenever I'm, laconic or short or direct about things, it's not out of a lack of love for those people. It's because I'm worried about 10 other things need to happen right now. So if you ask me, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, go.
Yeah.
Ask me when there's not a concrete truck dumping into a pump.
I will say, as a former concrete pumper, I appreciate that, because there's nothing worse we want is to have 105-degree day and you have all this concrete in your hose or hopper, and you just have people don't have their stuff together. You gotta get that concrete out.
And like I said, it's not out of lack of love for anybody. You catch most of those trucks are gone, I'll sit down and talk to you about anything for literally hours.
And someone could maybe, if they know you, they say, man, this guy just all task oriented, doesn't care about people. But we're just wired differently. And that's the beauty of work coworkers and just exploring how not to be too cliche, but we are better together, and that's why I love the statement that we're communicating to all of our employees.
If you can believe it, we only have 5 minutes left. We've been going for 40 minutes already. Time flies by. I have 2 questions that I absolutely have to get to. One of which is if you were stuck on a deserted island, what 2 items are you taking with you?
It's funny you say that because you never know when you're going to be on a desert island. So I actually have the 2 items with me. Is that okay if I?
I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Okay. So the first one, I have this volleyball because there's a guy I know, he was actually on an island. And so he said this was really important. So I got this one here. So, and then I also have this little pocket watch here.
Okay.
And so you open it up here and it has my beautiful wife.
Aw.
And so I was
right up on that one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We got you right now.
Yeah. So those are the 2 items I'll have with
That
me.
is so sweet.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking watch. Is that like a family heirloom or?
You know, I think, yes, it is. And so if my parents are watching, maybe they can tell, or I forgot what it is, but it is, I think it was my grandfather's, which is probably
wow.
pretty nice. So
Yeah.
is this something like George Washington? I don't know.
Huh. That's so interesting to think about now that, you said it was your grandfather's. And he
Yeah.
probably carried it just as a means of keeping time, like a
Yeah.
very practical approach to things.
That's usually for watches, And I
And
bet you he kept it in his pocket.
one would presume so.
Yeah. So
Here we are 2 generations later.
Yeah.
And it's a thing of, it's a antique. I couldn't tell you last time I put eyes on a physical pocket watch. So it's just so interesting how quickly things change. Just you mentioned the kind of multi-generational environment that we're in.
yeah.
Be like, there's probably people working that might have had one of those at some point or saw their parents carry one or what have you. And I'm pretty sure now there's people who was the thing about the kids that show the phone like this or whatever, however it goes, instead of
This is how you do it.
hook shaped guy. It's just very interesting how quickly that all changes.
Yeah.
And I think, I know Bruno and Hagen were talking about Chat GPT and OpenAI and all that. I can only imagine how much more quickly things will change as we start to adopt some of those new tools and see how they kind of supercharge human creativity and capability.
Yeah.
Be a lot of fun to see what happens there. If you had to give young Kevin some advice, what would you tell young Kevin?
Like, is this like, because there have been different types of Kevins, So, like, what is this like 11-year-old Kevin?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds good.
No, I'll tell you I think I would tell young Kevin, hey, Kevin, what's up? Hey, how you doing? Just to be original, be yourself. I think starting when you're young, you're trying to, find who you are. And I think like sometimes your biggest strengths, you have to get through your biggest weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses was being a pleaser. Was everyone happy, or do I have to, I was a little different, had big ears and I was trying to find approval by saying, you know what, you're good at the way you are, just be yourself and try not to be anyone else and be original. So that's what I will say.
That's a thing of beauty. And I think something, especially at 11 years old, I think that's middle school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That is tough because you've got all the other kids, giving you a hard time about everything they can, whether you're the broke kid or the kid on a weird diet or the kid with big ears or the new kid or
whatever,
short kid, the tall kid. It doesn't matter what you are. They will find a reason to give you a hard time. And I think that takes a lot of courage and self-honesty, right?
Yeah.
To say, no, this is what I am. Like, you can say what you like, but this is it. You're not so perfect either there, Mr. Bully kid or whomever.
Yeah.
I don't have kids in school, so I don't know what any of that is like. But it's one of those things we can all embrace.
One last advice I'll tell, I'll tell if you're ever in the library and a lady in front of you is asking the librarian, like, do you have any books on paranoia? Don't go in her ear and say, they're behind you. Because that will just freak everyone out. So don't do that. Do you get it? Okay.
Very
that's
well.
Another good advice for young Kevin.
Gosh. I love it. And just for the record too, I want you to know I this is my first time. Usually I have the stream up over here and all that. I'm relegating duties and all that. We're
things out.
We're getting better. But I did pull up the YouTube chat here about midway through to see if we had any questions or anything pop up, and I didn't see any. But there are more smiley faces, laughing faces, crying faces.
Oh my goodness!
I've ever seen. And there was also an official dad joke counter running.
Oh,
on
there
here.
was.
So I want you, if you wouldn't mind, taking a stab real quick before we get off. What was the dad joke count on the official dad joke counter today?
Well, let me just do one thing, and then we'll say, I know I'm sad that the Queen passed away, like last year or whenever, but now we're all watching Charles in Charge. So that's more of a generation joke. So let's go with maybe 5. Did I do 5?
Well, if we count that last one,
Yeah.
that's 8, sir. So you're funnier than you even realize.
All right.
That's what we're going to take on that one.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for jumping in today. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I had a lot of fun. Next week, we'll be back on Wednesday from 1 to 2 with, oh my gosh, Zach Cooper, not Zach Cooper, Coker. Thank you.
He
my
is phenomenal.
goodness.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And sorry to Zach Cooper. I know if you're out there listening, we'll get to you someday too. Zach Coker will be here next week, so we'll finally have someone from the younger generation in here again, and someone from the op side of things as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. Join us for that, and this will be up on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple later today. Hope everyone has a great week, and thank you again, Mr. Porter.
Thank you.